In politics, perception is often as powerful as policy itself. The way a leader is seen, by their supporters, their critics, and the world at large, can shape the course of history, just as much as the decisions they make behind closed doors. Every handshake, every speech, every carefully staged photograph becomes part of a larger narrative, influencing public opinion, and sometimes, the fate of nations. On October 14, 2025, President Donald Trump found himself at the center of such a narrative. This time, it wasn't a new policy announcement or a fiery rally that captured the world's attention. Instead, it was a single, striking photograph that would come to define a pivotal moment in his presidency. Time magazine's November cover featured Trump front and center, spotlighting his role in brokering a peace deal between Israel and Hamas, a diplomatic breakthrough that many thought impossible just months before. But it wasn't the historic agreement that dominated headlines. Instead, it was the image itself, its composition, its symbolism, and Trump's own reaction to it, that sparked a firestorm of debate. The president's anger over what he called a super bad and really weird portrayal quickly became the story. Around the globe, people weren't just talking about the peace deal's details. They were dissecting the photograph, analyzing what it said about Trump, about leadership, and about the power of media to shape reality. As the specifics of the agreement emerged, hostage releases, military withdrawals, and new diplomatic channels, Trump's focus remained fixed on his image. For him, the way he was depicted seemed as important as the deal itself. The controversy over the Time cover became a lens through which the world interpreted not only the peace deal, but also Trump's approach to leadership, legacy, and the art of political theater. Social media buzzed with opinions, and newsrooms debated what the image truly meant. This episode reveals that sometimes, the story isn't just about what happened, but about how it's remembered. It's about legacy, image, and the complex intersection where diplomacy meets spectacle, where history is made not just by actions, but by the way those actions are seen. So, let's unpack the layers of this pivotal moment in modern history, and explore how a single photograph can echo far beyond the headlines, shaping the story of a president, a peace deal, and the world's collective memory. Time's November 2025 cover was meant to celebrate a diplomatic victory, a momentous occasion that marked a significant step towards peace in the Middle East. But for Trump, it was a personal affront. The cover, which featured a low-angle shot of him with exaggerated visual effects, seemed to mock rather than honor him. On Truth Social, he called it the worst of all time, criticizing the low-angle shot and odd visual effects. His post quickly went viral, igniting a firestorm of reactions. Trump's complaints focused on his hair and a strange floating crown, which he saw as intentional mockery. The image, he argued, was designed to ridicule him. For a president obsessed with image, this was more than a bad photo. It was an attack on his brand. His carefully curated public persona was under siege. The debate quickly shifted from the peace deal to the aesthetics of its presentation. News anchors and journalists dissected every detail of the cover. Was Time subtly undermining Trump, or was it just an artistic misfire? Art critics and designers weighed in, adding layers to the controversy. The ambiguity fueled both supporters and critics. Social media platforms buzzed with heated debates, each side convinced of their interpretation. Time magazine stayed silent, intensifying speculation. Their refusal to comment only added fuel to the fire, leaving the public to draw their own conclusions. Trump's reaction fit his long-standing pattern of battling the media, reframing the conversation on his terms. He used the controversy to rally his base. The world was now talking about both the Gaza deal and Trump's fight with the press. The original diplomatic achievement was overshadowed by the media frenzy. In the age of viral images, a single photo can overshadow even the most significant achievements. The power of visual media had once again proven its ability to shape public discourse. While the cover photo immediately sparked controversy, igniting heated debates across social media and news outlets, the Time article itself painted a very different picture. A glowing account of Trump's diplomatic breakthrough that surprised even some of his critics. Titled, "His Triumph," the article credited Trump's bold, unorthodox approach for breaking the years-long deadlock between Israel and Hamas, a conflict many believed was unsolvable. The article highlighted the efforts of his close-knit team, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and Senior Advisor Jared Kushner, who worked tirelessly behind the scenes, crafting a detailed 20-point plan at the United Nations that would become the backbone of the peace process. Trump himself called it the biggest thing I was ever involved in. And the article echoed that sentiment, framing the deal as a historic turning point not just for the region, but for Trump's own legacy as a world leader. The journey from the initial proposal to the dramatic signing ceremonies in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and Sharm el-Sheikh was chronicled in detail, described as a story of bold leadership, high-stakes negotiation, and the willingness to take risks where others hesitated. Yet, in a twist of irony, the article's effusive praise was packaged with a cover image that Trump reportedly despised, a photo that seemed to undercut the very triumph the article celebrated. This striking disconnect between the magazine's critical visual and its positive written narrative made the episode unforgettable, fueling even more discussion about media bias and public perception. Trump's triumph was both celebrated and contested, sometimes in the same breath. For some, it was a moment of vindication. For others, a source of fresh controversy, ensuring that the story of his triumph would be debated for years to come. The Trump-brokered peace agreement marked a fragile but vital step toward ending years of devastation in Gaza. Signed 2 years after the 2023 Hamas attacks, the deal offered hope to a region scarred by violence and loss. Its core, a phased Israeli troop withdrawal and the release of hostages by Hamas. The withdrawal, though partial, signaled a major shift and was hard-won through intense negotiation. In return, Hamas agreed to release all remaining hostages, including the remains of those who died in captivity. The deal's ambition went beyond a ceasefire, addressing governance, reconstruction, and security for Gaza's future. Signing ceremonies in 3 cities symbolized a united front for peace. The agreement stands as proof that diplomacy can succeed, even in the most intractable conflicts. At the heart of the peace deal was a carefully orchestrated exchange of hostages and prisoners. Hamas released its 20 remaining living hostages, a moment of relief for Israel. The remains of 4 deceased hostages were also returned, offering closure to grieving families. Israel, in turn, freed over 1,100 Palestinian prisoners, a major concession and a victory for Hamas. The exchange was tightly synchronized, with each side's actions contingent on the other's compliance. Scenes of emotional reunions played out on both sides, underscoring the human stakes. This action-for-action mechanism built trust and momentum for the broader agreement. The exchange was complex and fraught, but essential for moving forward. It was the first, crucial step on the road to peace. The peace deal and time cover sparked a global wave of reactions. Israeli officials praised Trump, calling for a Nobel Peace Prize and crediting his unconventional diplomacy. Meanwhile, domestic critics like California Governor Gavin Newsom mocked the time cover online, turning it into political fodder. Russia's foreign ministry seized the moment, denouncing the photo as malicious and signaling support for Trump. Each reaction reflected deeper political agendas: celebration, mockery, or strategic outreach. The episode showed how a single event can be refracted through countless political lenses. For allies, it was a victory. For rivals, an opportunity to ridicule. For adversaries, a chance to curry favor. The global response was as much about politics as it was about peace. Despite the peace agreement, violence in Gaza persisted. Just as the world celebrated, an Israeli drone strike killed 7 Palestinians, reigniting tensions. The Israeli military claimed it targeted militants violating the disengagement terms. Such incidents threatened to unravel the fragile trust the deal was meant to build. The ceasefire's success depended on both sides controlling their forces and maintaining discipline. International observers watched closely, ready to intervene if tensions escalated. The true test of peace would be surviving these inevitable flare-ups. With the Gaza deal, talk of Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize surged. Supporters argued his efforts met Alfred Nobel's criteria, reducing conflict and promoting peace. Israeli officials were among the loudest advocates, citing the deal's tangible results. Critics countered that Trump's divisive rhetoric and America First policies made him unfit for the honor. The debate reflected his polarizing legacy: peacemaker to some, provocateur to others. The Nobel Committee faced a difficult choice: reward a historic achievement or weigh it against a controversial presidency. Regardless of the outcome, Trump's impact on the world stage was undeniable. October 2025 captured the essence of Trump's presidency: substantive achievement, personal grievance, and global reaction. The Gaza peace deal was a historic accomplishment, halting war and freeing hostages. Yet, Trump's battle over a magazine cover ensured the spectacle rivaled the substance. This dual narrative, diplomatic triumph and media feud, defined his leadership style. The episode touched on war, peace, American power, and the power of image in modern politics. The peace agreement, if it endures, will shape Trump's legacy far more than any magazine cover. It forces both supporters and critics to reckon with his capacity for major foreign policy breakthroughs. In the end, Trump's legacy is one of conflict and resolution, forever intertwined.